Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that one of our admin received. Our sister is saying she is looking for help if there is a prophet, a white or a red garment prophet that comes from Zim that stays around Pretoria. She is looking for any kind of assistance because of what she is going through. Her confession goes on like this. Hello, how are you? My name is Zanele. I am a woman that is aged 42 years old. I came with my mom when I was still very young from Limpopo, and then we came and we started staying in Joburg. Later on, I got married to my husband, whom I met in high school, went to the same university, started working together, and then we managed to get our first house. My husband was someone that was into property a lot. He taught me everything about real estate. That is how we made our money, me and my husband. So being in the real estate business, you need to know a lot of constructors, especially the ones that are cheap. So this is the way that I met up with my Zim boyfriend. There was a time that my husband wanted us to renovate one of the property that we had recently bought. My husband then said, instead of using the normal construction company that belonged to another white man that we used to hire whenever we wanted to do some renovations, and it was quite expensive, but he had a registered company as well. My husband then said, how about we just start our own construction company? We do our own thing. This will be cutting the costs. So we won't have like workers as such, but we will hire people even from the streets, those that can come and do the work for us. And then my husband, after we had registered the company, he said, how about that other guy, the Zim guy, who used to work at most of our houses, but he was working for the company that we used to hire. We spoke with him and he said it was okay. Each and every time we would give him the contracts, and this man ended up becoming one of our gardener. So when I say that he was our gardener, he would go around our properties, maintaining our properties as a caretaker as well as the gardener. So under him, he had two other Zim guys that were working for him, but he was the only permanent worker that we had. Unfortunately, my husband passed away. He passed away in a single car accident on the N1. The wreckage was so total that identification was near impossible. Only the initials on the driver's license that belonged to my husband confirmed that indeed it was him. It was as if the demon that I had went to get in Zim had taken my husband's car off from the road and twisted it so much. So I was the one who was now the sole proprietor of our vast estate, and I owned a R1 million portfolio. And I felt so lonely. At that time, I had not yet started sleeping with this same guy. It was only after, when I started to feel so lonely. My daughter was now at university. My mom had passed years earlier, and I felt so lonely most of the times. This guy kept on working for the company. He was a man that was someone that had helped me in life. The reason as to why I had gotten my husband killed, even though I felt so much pain after doing it, it was because there was a mistress in the picture, and I did not want to see myself sharing the wealth that we had accumulated, and I wanted her out of the picture. So when I found out that this was what had happened, that was when I spoke with the guy, our construction worker, as well as our gardener, about this issue. And I said, do you know that your boss is busy hurting me? Can you please help me out? So it did not happen like in the same time when I told him. This took maybe about a year. He would go to his country and come back until finally he told me that he had managed to make a breakthrough. There was a man whom he had met in Chipinge, a man that had given him some charms that he had used when he was returning back to South Africa without proper papers. So I was like, are you for real? And he was like, yes. So we planned over the next few weeks, me and that man, we kept on planning until I went to Zim without the knowledge of my husband. Yes, it happened that I went to Zim without even a passport. I was on a bus going with him to Zim. I was like, wow, so the border is so easy. We just went past through. When we were returning, when they were searching the bus, I told them that I was a South African. They did not even ask any question. I just lied to them, as I had been told by the bus driver that I had gone to visit my sick husband, and they said, okay, it is fine. So we returned back. I had a clay pot that I was supposed to use to mix some charms, and I was told to break a clay idol. I broke this clay idol when my husband was on his way visiting one of my sick relatives back in Polokwane. That was when I broke that clay idol. I did not know that me breaking the idol, it meant that I was giving to that Tokoloshe to kill my husband, and my husband passed away. When I received the phone call being told that there was an accident and it could have been my husband, I did not even react. I just sat there in my bedroom, for I had been told to calm down when I will be told about the news that my husband had passed away. I did not tell anyone, not even my friends. I did not want people to come to surround me, to sympathize with me. How can you sympathize with a person who planned for her husband's death for weeks and weeks? I had even cried before my husband had passed away. I only informed some of my close relatives as well as neighbors and my friends. This was almost like 3 hours after they had confirmed that indeed it was my husband. I was scared that it will appear on the news and people will be like, so why didn't you tell us? Fast forward, me and my gardener, we started sleeping together. Yes, it started with passion alone. And then the man, he used some charms on me. I don't want to lie to you. What I would feel each and every time when he will say that he is going to his country, I would start to cry. Tears will be flowing down my face. Even helped him with a work permit. This guy, I was in love with him just before I could marry him. This guy, I started to hear rumors that he was sleeping around with other South African women. I was willing to get him a South African ID. I did not care how I was going to get it, for the money was there. Brother Nashi, this man, he manipulated me so much that I ended up believing in his dreams. He told me that he loved the transport logistics industry quite a lot, and he made me to go and take a truck, a full set. I went and I took a truck on credit via my bank. The truck, it was a Scania model, and then the trailer, it was a side tipper, and I even helped him with the bank statements so that he can get a contract. This truck, it was on the road. He bought another one, and then that was when he went with the first Range Rover. This was his plan before I had even known that this was what was happening. He went to his country in 2016 with the first brand new Range Rover that I had finished settling. So now it was in my name, and he said, please, can I have it in my name? I had too many cars already and I wanted another car. So I did not want to have too many cars in my name, just if anything happens. So those two cars, the Range Rovers, that went to Zim and never returned back. Some say they went to Mozambique and he sold them off, this man. The first one, he went with it to his country and he did not return with the car. He said that he was going to look for a driver or his brother who would return back with that first Range Rover. He came to South Africa with a flight. I asked him, where is the car? He was like, I had a bad dream and I did not want to drive the car. And I was like, okay, as a woman who had seen that the spiritual world is very alive in his country, I was happy that he had listened to his ancestors, whom he said that he had seen in his dreams as someone that he had also killed her own husband using juju magic. I knew that juju, it does exist in that country. So I did not fight with him. That Range Rover never came back. He drove back again. This was the time that he vanished. He drove with that car. He called me and he told me that his mom was very sick and he would return back after his mom had recovered. I was like, okay, I was pregnant at that time and I was having so much stress. So my doctor told me not to fight with my husband or with anyone because of the high blood pressure. I had a child with this man called Tendai that I was dating. So I did not look for him. I was busy fighting my own pregnancy hormones. So the man never returned. The moment that the truck crossed over into the border, for I remember that the driver was using my bank card. He informed me to put money into that card so that he can use it for the expenses that he wanted and to put more fuel. That was the last that I heard of him. His last scene. He never spoke with me ever again. I would try to text him and he would not respond to me. So this man, he put me in credit that I'm still owing. This man was a millionaire because of me. I heard that he is in Mozambique. He got married to a Mozambican woman. He is even using a different Mozambican ID. How do I reclaim my assets? My lawyers said it can take years of litigation from Mozambique and it can cost me more than I have. On paper, I am a millionaire, but each and every month, once the money goes in, it is immediately taken by different debit orders. And whenever I try to further engage with my lawyers, what happens is that I'll start to get panic attacks. I once collapsed when I was in a lawyer's office. That man, even he was a white man who was willing to go further, assisting me to reclaim my properties that I lost to this man. He had a car crash. He said when he was busy driving, he saw a shadow that moved on his dashboard. That was what the white lawyer said, and he had a car crash. He never assisted me again. Whenever I'll try to speak with him, the calls will be directed to his wife, and the wife will say he is busy working with another case. So that is the situation that I am facing. I want your listeners to assist me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our admin. Our sister is saying that she is looking for a red garment prophet or a white garment prophet that comes from Zim. She has been told that the Tokoloshe, it threatens her. She said when she wanted to seek further help engaging a Mozambican lawyer, that was when she had a dream where she was being eaten alive by a Tokoloshe. Strange things they do happen in this world.